Hi, we're back. It's January 18th, the evening of, and we're officially 3 months into, or 2 months into the time that I said that we spoke about me healing my kidneys. It's kind of a milestone. Um, and it's feels like a real turning point as well. This week has been really amazing from the perspective of all the ways that doctors have been stepping up, and at the same time it's been a lot of sobering conversations from the perspective of statistically where we are at. It's quite encouraging on one hand how my rhinologist and my nephrologist still are holding to the possibility of my kidneys regenerating, and at the same time they've been very frank about the statistical likelihood of that happening at this point. Their concern is that my creatinine levels have not really moved in the midst of all the therapy, and in their medical experience and expertise, that doesn't really lead to a very good likelihood of my kidneys regenerating. Ultimately, what it's brought me to is that I'm clear that what we're doing at this point from a medical perspective is more like the quarterback throwing a Hail Mary. My rhinologist is pretty adamant that we should stop doing chemotherapy because he doesn't see it having any effect, and my rheumatologist is it's clear that she would like to proceed with attempting to do this out of a desire to know that every last effort was made in order for my kidneys to regenerate themselves. We're starting today a very aggressive chemotherapy cycle. Usually this is given approximately once a month, and I'm taking it every other week for 6 rounds. So we're being aggressive. That's kind of a last ditch. It feels like a real turning point for me because I'm clear that this is where the prayer really kicks in. I was quite clear there was something to the 3 months that I called out on the 18th of December. I'm sorry, the 18th of November. And it's it's a beautiful process when you're brought down to realizing that all the tools that you had at your disposal aren't working. because you're left with nothing in your hands, and you're left with nothing but prayer. And you're left with having to really question how much you believe what you say you believe. And this is a moment for that. This is a moment for really, really, really looking in and really, really finding out if I believe what I say I believe. This is where we find out where I believe what I say I believe. Earlier this week, I went to a healing service. A friend of mine invited me to Mass that was being given by a priest who comes and does healings, and what kept on coming to my mind was, will thy be made whole? And it asked me as though, would you like to, or is it your will? Is it in your will, as in it's speaking to me? Is it really in my will to be made whole? Is it really in my will to be made whole? I'm so used to driving my life I'm so used to rationalizing what should be the best next step. And this is really a moment of really surrendering and letting something else guide. And it's almost as though I'm more scared to let go than it is to be healed. It's almost as though I'd rather hold on than to be healed. It's that scary. It doesn't make sense, even when I think about it. But it feels like that's the truth. I have a month left on this clock, and I don't know what that means. 3 months came to me. I don't know what it'd mean if I didn't get physically better, or if I did, or if it shouldn't matter. I mean, the run across the country wasn't about the running. And this isn't about kidneys. But there's some shifts that need to happen within me before we reach another side.
I love you.